DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
You're going to be aggressive first pitch there?
Yeah. I just went up there and figured, runner on second, nobody out. Just got to get them over, right? It was basically just trying to hit the ball on the right side and got a good pitch. Timing was there and made a good swing.
First home run as a Yankee came at a huge time in the game, obviously. Just what was your feeling when you connected with that and knew it was heading out?
Man, I was obviously super happy. Just felt I've been feeling close, right? I've had some good at bats, some just missing the balls and working some counts, and then I've had some bad at bats where I've kind of just given them away. So today to finally go up there and fill a good barrel and help the boys out and really contribute on the offensive side was huge. So.
That was Alex Verdugo. About this time last year when he was making his debut for the New York Yankees, was a part of that New York Yankees team that went to the World Series and unfortunately fell to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And after that season ended, Alex Verdugo became a free agent and was pretty much left unsigned until just about, 10 days ago when he finally was able to ink a minor league deal with the Atlanta Braves. Of course, Alex Verdugo, the pros play here out of Saguaro High School. Well, Alex Verdugo might be about to get back to the big leagues. It has something to do with a little bit of what we talked about yesterday concerning a player by the name of Jurickson Profar, who is now suspended for 80 games, who, as Jada put yesterday, putting things into his body. Well, of course, Jurickson Profar plays for the Atlanta Braves. They now need an outfielder.
They?
Outfielder.
They're winless.
Are they winless?
Yeah.
See, I've not been following the records here.
I'm just looking at the standings.
The Padres haven't lost and the Braves haven't won?
They are 0-3.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
I'm sorry, 0-5, DK.
0-5.
0-5.
Okay, yeah, that's worse. That's worse for sure. So we'll see. I mean, Alex Verdugo was signed to a minor league deal by the Braves. They have not started the minor league season just yet. And so he, I believe, is still in camp down in Florida, but is one of the players that could possibly be called up. He signed a 1-year minor league deal worth $1.5 million back on March the 20th. We'll see. They've got a Braves. Apparently, they have a number of options that they can go to. They just traded a couple of days ago and got Stuart Fairchild from the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll see. Right now, though, Verdugo is assigned to their AAA club with the Gwinnett Braves. The Braves, one of the reasons they've gotten off to a slow start is because they are without Ronald Acuna Jr., one of their top players, who is hurt. So we shall see. I mean, they just gave a bunch of money to Jurickson Profar in the offseason. 3 years, $42 million, and he's already out now for 80 games, over half the season, for a positive PED test. Not good.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Sosa and McGuire, right? I mean, they don't take that stuff lightly. The rules are very extreme these days. I didn't see if that was a secondary test, because I mean, 80 is not the first test. Positive test,
yeah,
right?
I don't know.
I'd have to look up what the actual MLB rules are, but yeah, I mean, it's traditionally I didn't know that this ointment had that substance in it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, though, that nobody signed Alex Verdugo until the last minute. I mean, he's a guy that, the numbers are still pretty good. 13 home runs, 61 RBIs. Now, he's never hit for much of an average. I think he hit 233 last year for the New York Yankees, but a guy that plays pretty decent outfield and has some decent power as well. But just apparently the asking price, and that was one of the rumors, what the Verdugo folks were asking might have been more than what most major league teams were willing to pay, and that's one of the reasons why his stock kind of fell during the offseason and into the free agent period. So he did get a deal eventually with the Atlanta Braves, and we'll see if that results here in a call-up back to the big league.
Yeah, just from that Moneyball perspective, right? I mean, he's 272 lifetime, but last year was 233 with 93 strikeouts in 559 at-bats and 61 walks, right? So if you're talking about trying to pick somebody up during the offseason, he's almost has 3,000 major league at-bats, right? So quite a lot of experience. But maybe they shied away with the asking price combined with the 233 average last year. But obviously, that was a down year because he had hit much better with the Red Sox before he got to the Yankees. So,
and he had the infamous run-in with Alex Cora back in 2023 when he was with the Red Sox, and then they traded him that offseason to the Yankees. And there's been talk that there might have been some off-the-field issues as well in New York concerning Alex Verdugo. So that again, nowadays players, and then when your numbers take a dip like they did, as you mentioned, a lot of strikeouts last year and hitting just 233, teams will tend to back off of a player in that respect, and so he may have to use some time in AAA to work his way back. But we shall see.
How about a homegrown Tucson Saguaro High School kid who played for the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and now the Braves? I mean, those are four pretty good franchises.
If he puts on a Braves major league uniform, that's a pretty good whatever the word the foreword is for trifecta.
It's quint something or other.
Yeah, to be able to wear all of those famous those uniforms in a Major League Baseball career is pretty impressive. Speaking of baseball, we've got baseball coming up tonight here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Your Arizona baseball team is back on the field. They'll play the first of, I believe, is two non-conference games against the Grand Canyon Antelopes. I know they play another one here in Tucson in 2 weeks, I believe, on the 15th. So today's game in Phoenix, and then here in Tucson on the 15th against the Antelopes, who gave the Wildcats a lot of fits last year. I think they played them 3 times last year, and Grand Canyon won 2 of 3.
They scored a lot of runs is the way I remember it.
Exactly. So that'll be a scheduled first pitch right after 6 o'clock. Well, our coverage will begin. We'll take you right up to whenever Brian Jeffries is ready to go on the air. Should be sometime within the next hour, 5:45, 5:50. Maybe 5:55, sometime in that neighborhood. But Brian Jeffrey will be back. He was on the call Saturday and Sunday, so it was great to hear Brian back on baseball. No rest for the weary. Get right off the basketball trail and right into baseball, and it sounded like he hadn't even missed a beat.
It was, they played in the Tucson Regional as well, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
That was the last time they played. 4-9 was that score. But the score that was in late April, DK, it was 24-8 in 7 innings. Is what Grand Canyon put on the Arizona Wildcats last year.
Wow. So that nice little rivalry starting to brew there.
It's a great athletics department.
The Wildcats and the Antelopes. Yeah, they've spent some money. I think they went out and they quickly replaced Molly Miller, their women's basketball coach, who left to go across the street to Tempe and take over that program. So there's another nemesis now that the Wildcats will have to worry about because Molly Miller's had a lot of success. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what she does there quickly with Arizona State women's basketball and if they can get back into a competitive standpoint because they really have not been very competitive since Charlie Turner Thorne, since I think that last year of Charlie Turner Thorne and the 3 years of Natasha, forget her last name, that was the head coach over there for the Sun Devils. All right, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we are going to hear from the offensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats, Seth Dagey, who met with the media during spring practice. Anxious to hear what he thinks now that, we heard from him at the top when he first got here. And, of course, at that point, he hadn't had a chance to really get to know a lot of the guys, get in meetings with the guys, and now he's had an opportunity to not only do that, but get out on the field. I believe this was practice number 7. I know we've got at least a week next. So we got all this week and all of next week. So that would be 2 more this week and then 3 more and then 3 more. So there's 8 practices to go. So this is practice 7 then today. So 8 practices still to go Thursday and Saturday of this week, next week, and then the following week, which will end with the showcase on the 15th. So Seth Dagey has had an opportunity now to see his guys out on the field. So we'll get his impression of what he's seen to this point as the Arizona football team tries to get back in the mix of the Big 12 after a 4-8 season last year. Same quarterback, different wide receivers. Chris Hunter had a big breakout. It's interesting. One of the players that we got to talk to last night at the career day was Devin Hyatt. You remember Devin Hyatt had that nasty ankle injury in the second half of the ASU game. He said he's about 80%, won't go through any of spring practice drills, is really shooting to be back in the fall. Really fun young man to talk to. J-Dub, a couple of the other kids we had a chance to talk to, Emily Mueller, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, gymnastics, had a chance to talk to her. That was one of the really fun things, was just to kind of meet some of the student athletes who we've had on the show that we haven't maybe really ever met in person, but have had a chance to talk to, and now got a chance to see several of them face to face.
And if you're not going to be a firefighter or lead a department at a major university, then sports media is another avenue that one could get into. So not surprised that you had quite a few athletes come talk to you.
Well, I don't know how interested they are in me, but the media part of it is definitely one that I think a lot of those young folks, because they're all very gifted in expressing themselves and conversations, some really good conversations that we had with those folks. And like I was telling with Dr. Reed and mentioned earlier, I could really learn a lot from them and how they handle the current environment that they're living in. DK on the Sports Tip, much more coming up. Hour number 3, J-Dub is here, Cricket is here, Dragon Ball off today. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. I-10 at Tangerine. Serious collision occurred there earlier around 2:30 this afternoon. I-10 both directions. I-10 is completely closed at Tangerine for an investigation. A lot of backups in that area as well. And a lot of also pretty heavy backups for your potential alternate routes in the area, like Avra Valley Road at Sanders, Avra Valley Road at Sandario, Clayton at Avra Valley Road. Other wrecks reported at Naranja and 1st Avenue, Valencia and 6th Avenue, and also Campbell and Irvington. Red flag warning until 8 tonight, 46 the overnight low, 64 partly cloudy tomorrow, windy and 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court.
You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA and also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley.
I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor.
Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner.
Knicks fans.
So, now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together.
The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Bradley for 3. Jaden Bradley has come alive in the second half.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Burgers sound great. Let's find a spot nearby. Wow, nothing? Oh, well. Everybody okay with pizza instead?
Can she seriously not see us?
No, she can't. Time to get a boost. Get found and get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Arizona baseball is back on the road tonight. The Wildcats head to Grand Canyon for a non-conference game against the Antelopes. Coverage begins at 5:45. First pitch at 6. Right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Rickroll. Happy April Fool's Day. Never want to give you up. Never want to make you cry. Yeah. Yeah. I can sing back up. Not really. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us. Steve Karnacki is leaving MSNBC? What? Mr. Prognosticator? There was nobody better at breaking down political maps and voting districts than Steve Karnacki. And he got so good at that they started using him on Sunday Night Football to break down the playoff picture over at NBC. There's some shocking breaking news for you. I like Steve Karnacki. I'm going to miss him.
Don't they have octopi that do that nowadays? They're just they have two choices and then they just pick between it. Isn't that the popular way to do it?
Something like that. I don't know. We'll have to get the details on why he's, if he's heading to another network or something like that. That's a shocker. Steve Karnacki leaving MSNBC. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. We've got one of our BetMGM top plays tonight is your Diamondbacks at the Yankees take the over on 8. Now, the game's already started, so it's probably going to cost you more to do this now. But 2-1, top of the fourth, Diamondbacks leading. So maybe not as much scoring early as was thought. Corbin Burns making his first start for the Snakes has given up a home run. Who did he give up the home run to? It was Juan Dominguez. Hit a solo home run.
Is it too soon to say that the routine maybe didn't work? Or what?
I don't know. Well, one run in 3 innings. That's not too bad.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And only one. They got 2 hits. Yankees have 2 hits so far. The Diamondbacks lead on a 2-run home run by Corbin Carroll. So there you go. Corbin Carroll, a 2-run home run. Juan Dominguez has a solo home run. It is 2-1 Diamondbacks, top of the fourth in New York at Yankee Stadium. Now, some bad news as well. The news has been bad all season for the Suns, but as we get down here to the final few games of the campaign, the news just continues to get worse.
Durant gets to the left hand.
Turned his ankle.
And you see him grabbing that left ankle right now.
He got out of it, though. That was a good thing. As soon as it halfway turned, he kind of jumped out of it, but it doesn't look good.
He's trying to walk it off.
Yeah, I think we'll get an MRI on it tomorrow. He'll stay back, and we'll just assess and know more tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that MRI tomorrow is today, and the results are a sprained ankle, which are going to keep Kevin Durant out for at least 1 week. And I would be hard-pressed to think that, well, again, the Suns are still in the playoff picture. They're
Barely.
one game out of the
1.5 out of the
Is it
play.
1.5 now?
Yeah, 1.5 out of the play-in, last I checked.
And they've played 75, so they have 6 games left. They've
Which
lost
is
3
the
in a row.
toughest 6 games of any team in the NBA.
Wow.
So they have the toughest remaining schedule in the NBA, and they are 2-16 without KD in the lineup.
2-16.
So,
oh my gosh. So do you? I mean, I'm not going to say do you pack it in at this point because that's not what teams do. But I mean, they lost on Sunday by damn near 40 points.
yeah, we haven't talked about that Rockets team much this year, but they are legit. Very good. Nice young roster.
And nothing's changed. I mean, the last 3 games, they've given up 132, 124, and 148. And at this point, you can make it to play some more games, but do you have any faith that this team could even get out of the play-in tournament and get one of those last 2 spots?
Well, they're currently down 31-19 at the end of the first to the Bucks.
Oh, great.
So
there you go. That is the first of a 3-game road trip. They'll play 3 of these last 7 games on the. 4 of these last 7 games on the road. Milwaukee tonight, Boston on Friday, Knicks on Sunday. Then they come home for the final 3 home games of the regular season. Golden State, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and then they finish on Sunday, April the 13th at Sacramento.
yeah, I mean there's slight good news is Oklahoma City doesn't really have anything to play for. They've already clinched the number 1 seed, right? And that's so late in the season. They may not go all out in that game, but again, the Phoenix Suns are currently in the 11th spot, 35-40 on the year. The Kings are the team that's directly ahead of them. Mavericks are also within striking distance if they falter a bit. But the question I think everybody's wondering, DK, is you have the highest salaried roster in the entire NBA, right? And clearly some of the moves they've made are semi-redundant, but if they don't make the playoffs, I mean, rumors are that potentially KD, who's up for a renegotiation next summer, he may not be around forever. But I mean, what do you do? Like, they don't really have any wiggle room. They don't have. They're so hard capped with their salaries. There's really nowhere they can go, and that's what you just said. I mean, the issue is not putting the ball in the basket. The issue is stopping teams. And if you don't have, I mean, it's redundant, but they traded away Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, 2 of the better perimeter defenders with length to get KD. And right now they can't stop anybody. And there's really not a lot of things they don't have a lot of positioning they can do to make their roster stronger in the interim, in the short term.
So we didn't give you a question of the day today, so I think we're going to make that our question of the day. Kevin Durant out for a week with an injured ankle. Do the Suns make the postseason? I'm about to go make this live right now on our Twitter account at Wildcats 1290. What do we got? 22 hours and some change left, so we can hit this to And right about showtime tomorrow. Yes, there is still time. You're going to like this one. No, pack the boat.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that the Sacramento Kings are 1-7
Yeah, they're
in their
having a
last
tough
8
time,
games. So they're not playing great basketball either right now.
So head on over right now to Twitter, Wildcats 1290, and you can vote in our poll. Kevin Durant out for a week with an injury. Do the Suns make the postseason? Yes, there's still time. No, pack up the boat.
I mean, I would imagine they've got to win 4 at least.
For those that they need to win.
Need to win.
Not that they're going to win. But
No,
that
they need
win.
to make the play-in. They'll have to win 4 of their remaining games.
Arizona football, and we're going to hear from Seth Dagey coming up here in this hour. Arizona football has also announced their themed weekends for the games coming up at home this year. The Wildcats are going to play 7 games, 7 home games at Arizona Stadium. This year, they'll open up at home on August the 30th against Hawaii. That'll be Polynesian Heritage Night. Makes a lot of sense. Against Hawaii. Weber State will come in the next Saturday. That's September the 6th. Again, that'll be Native American Land Acknowledgement evening, and they will also celebrate the Arizona Hall of Fame that night. And then you get Kansas State, so 3 consecutive home games to start the season, and that's going to be a Friday night game against Kansas State on September the 12th. That'll be Retro Night. Retro Night and 125 celebration. I don't know what Retro Night is. Are we all going to dress up in our 80s outfits that night? Is that what?
Can we do 70s?
What is retro? What do the kids of today?
Well, I think
consider
25
retro?
years.
Is that like early 2000s?
Well, I think 25 years is the cutoff for something being classic. So it's, believe it or not, it's 1999 would be the cutoff.
Would be the cutoff?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have no idea. Like, what is, like, if you were going to dress up as 1999, what would that look like?
Prince? I mean, you could dress up like Prince. That would be a little inside.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's more 80s, but.
Well, he had a song, Party Like It's 1999, right?
He did.
So that would be the joke, yeah.
Hispanic Heritage Night will be Saturday, October 4th. That's my birthday weekend. Send gifts. Oklahoma State is in town for that particular ball game. Then the next weekend will be Family Weekend, October the 11th, and that'll be against BYU.
There's a theme for that one, too.
Family Weekend?
Yeah, it's middle-aged people drinking too many shots.
Oh.
That's the theme.
Yes, you are correct.
Been there. I worked a lot of family weekends down on University Boulevard.
Correct. Homecoming will be November the 8th against Kansas. And then the final game, Senior Day, will be Saturday, November the 22nd against Baylor. So there'll be 6 Saturday games and 1 Friday game this year at Arizona Stadium. Cool. There you go. 520-848-1290. If you have any questions on that, we can answer those for you as well. The Yankees have just tied the game up. I missed it. I put my head down and it went from 2-1 to 2-2. Did Jazz hit a home run? Because Jazz Chisholm was at the plate, and he's one of the guys that's been using the torpedo bat. So I'm wondering if he hit a home run there. Let me check real quick for you because I am anxious to find that out if that's what happened there with Jazz Chisholm.
Looks like Dominguez hit a home run.
Oh, no, it's Volpe. Volpe
hit a home run, yeah.
He's one of the guys who's using the torpedo bat. That's what I think Jim Bowden said. Is it Austin Volpe? Is that his name? Is that his first name? I don't think
it's Anthony.
Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe and Jazz Chisholm are the 2 guys that have been using the torpedo bats, and one of them just hit a home run to tie the game.
17 in 3 games and
17 total home runs?
Yeah. Because they had 15 home runs in their first 3 games, right?
Yes. How about that? Austin Wells is at the plate right now, Arizona Wildcat alum. He's 0 for 1 in the game. He has homered twice this season. In fact, homered on opening day. Talk about catchers doing crazy things. A catcher hitting is. We've had a catcher this year in the big leagues. In the first week of the season, we've had a catcher hit a leadoff home run in Austin Wells, and we've had a catcher hit for the cycle in Carson Kelly. These catchers are just not It's a different age of catching. Guys that can run and can hit. Not exactly what we have from the old school, for sure. All right, we're going to hear from Seth Dagey coming up, the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Wildcats. Anxious to hear what he has to say about spring ball. Practice number 7 today ended. 8 more to go. Quarterback Noah Fafita is going to have to find some new weapons to get comfortable with. Obviously, Tetairoa McMillan is gone. He is going to be one of the top picks coming up in the draft, which is now, 3 weeks away? 3 weeks from Thursday night will be NFL draft night. We'll start to ramp that up as well in the coming weeks as we get closer to that, and potentially Tetairoa McMillan becoming one of the highest drafted Wildcats ever. We'll see how high he can go on those draft boards, but that's going to be fun to see. He's had some workouts. He had the private workout here in Tucson. I'm sure there's going to be some teams bringing him in to chat with him, but I guess the prevailing thing is that people are calling him Tet, as in short for Tetairoa, but nobody really knows where that came from or why they're all of a sudden calling him Tet McMillan. Is that because they don't want to have to try to spell his name? And if that's the reason, trust me when I tell you, I had to come up with a system for spelling his name when he first got here. So I kind of maybe get that, if that's the reason why people are shortening it to Tet, because they don't want to have to remember how to spell his name every time. It's really not that hard. It's Tetairoa. That's how I remembered it when he first got here. But I had to actually sit down, and it was like maybe 10 minutes to come up with, okay, how am I going to remember how to spell this kid's name? Because I got to write it out a lot.
There was a sci-fi movie with Tom Cruise in it called Oblivion, and there was a thing called the Tet in that movie. That's the only thing that comes to mind, thinking of Tet. So I don't know if it stands for anything or if it's literally just that. They're just shortening it because they don't want to spell it all out.
All right, cricket is getting you home. Bad accident on I-10. Just avoid I-10 going out of town. And if you're coming into Tucson from the Phoenix area, there's try to get up. Maybe take, what's that route that goes up through Oracle? 77? Maybe get and cut across and come down Highway 77.
They call it the Jackrabbit route.
Is that the Jackrabbit
Yeah.
route? Okay. Yeah, well, take the Jackrabbit route into Tucson because it is going to be a mess for several more hours on I-10. Cricket getting you all that information and more.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Got that big closure on I-10, eastbound and westbound I-10. At Tangerine, travel closed. Heavy backups for both directions of traffic on I-10 approaching that area. Encouraged to, of course, exit the freeway. You cannot enter I-10 eastbound or westbound at Tangerine. We've got heavy backups also for eastbound I-10 between Twin Peaks and Orange Grove. Other collisions that are reported at Speedway in Alvernon, McGee and La Cañada, Broadway and Aviation Parkway. Gusty winds, red flag warning till 8 tonight. 46 our overnight low. 64, partly cloudy tomorrow. Windy and 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Mid-court, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela. Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Election Agency.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The Texas Longhorns women's basketball team has advanced to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2003. The Longhorns never trailed against TCU on Monday, holding the Horned Frogs to just 27% shooting and forcing 21 turnovers in their 58-47 victory. They were led by sophomore star and SEC Player of the Year Madison Booker with 18 points and 6 rebounds.
We've been through everything, conditioning, tired, on the ground, locker room, gassed out. These are the moments that you work for and you dream for.
Texas is now just 2 wins away from their first national championship since 1986. Their next test, a shot at redemption against defending champion South Carolina on Friday. The Gamecocks dominated the Longhorns 64-45 in the SEC championship game just 3 weeks ago. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
With Marriott Bonvoy, take your game day rituals on the road. No matter how you show your team spirit, find a stay for your style when you explore our entire world of hotel brands and experiences. Marriott Bonvoy has a brand for every kind of fan. Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Explore more at marriottbonvoy.com/NCAA.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, the bad news is Corbin Burns is getting his butt kicked in the fourth inning at Yankee Stadium. The Yanks got 3. They just got the final out. So New York leads 4-2. The good news is that's 6 runs in 4 innings, and we've got the over on this game at over 8 against the Yankees tonight. So there's always positives and negatives. Arizona football on the practice field today, practice number 7 of spring camp. So they are almost halfway through. They'll turn the page on that half coming up on Thursday, and then there'll be an open practice, which you can go watch at the stadium on Saturday in the morning. We'll give you the updates on that as well. Let's hear, though, from the new offensive coordinator of your Arizona Wildcats, Seth Dagey, talking about what he wants to see initially from this team that he has and the new offense he's running.
The biggest one is becoming a unit. A unit that can contend for a Big 12 championship. And with so many new guys and then installing a new system, it's just everybody's really starting from scratch. And so there's a major process of becoming one and all doing it together. And obviously that takes there's so many things that go into that. And part of it's just learning, what we do and getting lined up fast and operating fast and with the effort that we expect, and then the coaching points, and then executing what we expect, right? And then, owning the accountability, owning it and fixing it. So, we talk about red line around here all the time, and that's Coach B's, big that's his big standard here, the standard of what we're going to do at Arizona, and that starts with effort, and then it goes to execution, and then it goes to accountability. So, we're just basically installing a scheme and installing the standard of play that we expect from them.
Noah was saying he's never been in an offense this quick. What are the benefits of no huddle and, I guess, just playing fast?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a huge advantage, especially late in the game. But it's only an advantage if you can execute it, right? So we talk about this all the time. Like tempo can be a weapon. But it's only a weapon if we're doing it the right way, if we're lining up fast, if we're intentional with the details, if we're disciplined and then our assignment, how we're executing it. If we're not, then we're just playing fast to go 3 and out as fast as possible. Okay, so and that obviously is a disadvantage. So there's parts to that do give you an advantage, but at the end of the day, if we're not executing at a high level, then tempo does not give you the advantage that we expect it to late in the game.
When you look at the quarterback room and how they're moving along in terms of the progression of the playbook, where are they in your assessment, and how has Noah helped the rest of the guys, and even though he's learning, pick up the playbook as well?
I've been actually really impressed with our quarterbacks because I've probably installed more than I've ever installed in the first 4 days here. And it's because Noah and Braden allow me to, because they are so cerebral, they're professionals, extremely intelligent. But obviously you've been around quarterbacks that are intelligent, but the most impressive thing with both of those guys is they can process it. For the most part, when we go out on the field, they're executing at a high level. Now, there's some stuff, obviously, that they're going to make a mistake on just because it's new and fresh, and it might be a look that we weren't, expecting, and so they make the wrong decision, whatever it may be, or make the wrong throw, the wrong read in the progression, whatever it may be. But the greatest thing about it is that accountability part is both of them will own it and fix it immediately. And so it's been a very from an install standpoint, man, we've gotten 90% of the offense already in, and with a lot of flavor. It's not just like your typical hey, let's put like a base formation in with a base play and let's get really, really good at it, which I do believe in that. But those two guys have allowed us to really put some flavor on what we're doing so far, and I feel like we're ahead of the curve from that standpoint.
Noah, after the first practice when he was doing the interviews here, he said, I thought I was going fast, but then you guys were saying, gotta be faster. So he was a little shocked at, the speed of it. How difficult is it for a player to pick up on that in terms of practicing?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for the offense, and I can only speak for the offense, is changing the mentality of, what we expect and what our standard is, all right? And so, I think that's what he's referring to when he said that, is like after the first day, they felt like we were going fast, and in my eyes, that wasn't the standard. The standard can be faster. And so we're trying to push it to the extreme limits, and if we can, and we can execute it, then I think we can be really dangerous. Like I said, I think, obviously with beating defenses to lining up, them, not being able to sub, and then, like I said, like late in the game, their lung capacity isn't the same as ours because that's what we do every day.
I have two questions for you about the offensive line. The first one, in general, what are you asking of the offensive linemen that might be different from what they were doing before, and what's that learning curve?
I feel like me and Coach Oglesby have really, we've really hit it off. We're working really well together. So I've taken a lot of what he's done in the past and applied it to what we're doing, what I want to do schematically. And so some of the stuff that he feels very comfortable coaching has been, relatively the same in general terms. But probably the hardest part, for those old linemen right now is having to, find ways to finish practice because we are playing in a up-paced tempo offense. So they're just not used to that. Most of them, whether they transferred here or they played here last year, that's just not what they did. And so having to process, I think the offensive line is probably the hardest job in college football because there's so many different fundamental details that you have to master. There's an ID, process to every play that you have to understand, like what you're getting from a front standpoint, from a pressure standpoint, from an alignment standpoint. And doing all that really fast is really hard. And so that's probably the most challenging thing for the offensive line so far that I've asked them to do that they haven't done in the past is execute tempo. And even when we're not playing with like our tempo, our fast tempo, we still got lined up fast and we still try to press the pedal. So, I think it's my job to kind of like, control the tempo by holding the call, but I want those guys lined up fast. I want to ID fast. So, it always perceives that we're playing with pace.
That leads perfectly to my next question, which is specifically about center. What are you looking for in a center in this system, and what are that player's responsibilities?
To me, the center is just an extension of the quarterback. We ask a lot of that guy because I try to take some of it off the quarterback and put it on the center from an ID standpoint. So he's got to be very intelligent, be able to process and different types of, like I said, different types of front, different types of alignments. He's got to know the structure of the coverage shell at times to understand what he's getting, front side, back side, whatever it may be, whatever the scheme is. And so he's got to have a ton of communication skills because he's communicating, he's making that whole thing go. And then he's got to have a little, in my terms, this is, take it for what it's worth. He's got to have a little dog in him, and I feel like the best centers I've ever been around had a little edge to them, whether they were, short, big, fast, strong, explosive. It didn't matter. At the end of the day, they just had a ton of heart. And, our guy Marshall last year, he wasn't very athletic. He wasn't very explosive, but he had the heartbeat of the entire offensive line, and they listened to him. And he was tough as nails, and he made us go. So I put a lot of stock into the center, and because that guy does a lot for us. And like I said, he's the first one that touches the ball, and he chases the ball every play. And so he's the first one to get lined up and get us going. So it's a major major piece for what we do, and that guy has to be, like I said, he's got to be a dog.
Excuse me, when you were at Marshall last year, what was it like learning the coach-to-player communication in the helmet, and how has that been in the early stages this year?
it was unique at first, but I've really come to love it. And like I said, since we're playing with a no huddle and playing we're operating no huddle and playing with pace, playing with tempo, it allows me to see the picture. And then when it ends up being a longer play call, I can help the quarterback by telling him what the protection is. You remind him on a little tip and reminder there, whether it be, hey, we're in a certain set, so you don't have a backside route. Remember that. Or, sometimes, I can see it quicker than he can see it, and maybe we flip the protection. Or I can get us into a better play. Just because they're aligned fast and I can still talk to him. But it only works if we align fast, right? Because we get cut off. So part of our process of playing with tempo and aligning fast is allow me to communicate as much information as I can to Noah or Braden, whoever's in there, so it allows them to have the best chance to have success.
And then what do you think about your collection of running backs and how they're going to be used in the offense?
Yeah, I think Zoe and Law have done a great job with those guys through the offseason of creating a standard there. I think that room's extremely tough. I think there's every single one of them bring a little bit of a different skill set to the table. So it's going to be unique to go through this process of spring ball and summer and figure out how we're going to use them as a unit, right? Because like I said, they all, Marty's fast. Quincy has a little bit of a fill in space. Ked can kind of do it all, a little bit more powerful. And Mike's super explosive, right? And then we got the young guys coming in to see what they can do. But it's going to be unique to see, how that continues to progress. And then I have to do a great job of understanding what they do best and try to, put us in a position to have the most success each play with that specific runner in.
You talked about working with Coach Oglesby with the offensive line, and working with Coach Brennan to a degree, I guess, with wide receivers, right? Because that's kind of his position. What are some of the things that you've learned from him, maybe about coaching wide receivers, and how is that kind of relationship?
The first unit meeting I ever had, I challenged the receivers. Okay, and this is what I believe in this offense, in this specific scheme. I've been at places where you had really, really good receiver play, at times elite receiver play, and this offense really goes. And then I've been at places where you didn't have that, and the offense, struggles tremendously in the pass game. So for us to do what we want to do, that receiver play has to be, executed at a high level. And I really believe that we can get them there because of Coach Wade and Coach Brennan, because walking through this building, when I did that, challenged the receivers, the standard of that position has been the same, before I got here. Bobby expects that, Coach Brennan expects that. And so for me as a coordinator and a guy that's installing an offense that, puts a lot of premium on a receiver play, it's just good to know those guys see it through the same lens. And honestly, if I'm being completely transparent, it was one of the reasons I actually decided to come to Arizona was Bobby Wade. Just because I believe in him and I know that position group has to be coached and held accountable and loved and recruited and all that stuff. I mean, he's just so good at what he does. So I'm extremely excited about him. And like you said, I've learned, every practice I hear Coach Brennan give a coaching point to a receiver, or whether it be in a meeting that he's talking to the entire team or the unit. And he brings something unique to the table, and I write it down just because I've never heard of it that way. It might be said, it might be something that we do, but it's communicated a little bit maybe more simple, or it makes more sense to do it the way he's talking about. So obviously anything that he said, because he's done it for such a long time, I'll listen and try to apply. So, obviously I said this from the start of that question, that receiver group is we need them to be really good for us to go. And they know that because we talk about it every day. And I believe in those guys. I believe in Coach Wade, and I love that our head coach believes in the standard as well.
Seth Dagey, the offensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats. We're going to hear more from him straight ahead. Cricket is right now going to get you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. I-10 closed at Tangerine and will remain closed. Both directions of traffic on I-10 closed off at Tangerine, probably for at least another hour or two. A lot of backups in that area of I-10 and Tangerine. A collision on Sandario south of Twin Peaks Road. Other collisions, 6th Avenue and Congress, McGee and La Cañada, Speedway in Alvernon, and also Broadway and Aviation Parkway. Do have that red flag warning in effect until 8 tonight, 46. The overnight low, 64, partly cloudy tomorrow. Windy, 72 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska vacation.
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what, Rome, I did it. I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what, you probably aren't that smart. You need 2 more weeks.
We love Jim Rome every Monday through Friday on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Honey,
We should probably take something to the Johnsons.
Oh, great idea. Kim loves fresh flowers.
Perfect. Okay, let's see who's open.
Hi there. We've got gorgeous bouquets ready to go. 0.3 miles from your house.
All these shops are way too far. We're going to be late.
Hello?
I got nothing. I guess we'll have to go get grocery store flowers.
Can he seriously not see us?
No, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local florists. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. Arizona baseball coming up from Phoenix. Wildcats and Grand Canyon in a non-conference game. Brian Jeffries will be on the call here shortly. Wrapping up our Desert Diamond Casino replay for today. We're hearing from Seth Deggy, the new offensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats. Your Desert Diamond Casino replay is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet. Let's hear more on what the new offensive coordinator thinks of his wide receiver room that he's coaching alongside Bobby Wade.
I think we have a lot of speed. So it's going to be fun to get creative and find different matchups, for guys like Watley, Hudson. Chris Hunter's made some plays. Spivey's a big body outside. Phelps is a big body outside. JP's obviously extremely twitchy. Luke is really tough and fast. So honestly, it's a little bit like the running back room where, we may have the same body types at some positions, but all of them bring a little bit something unique and different from a skill set level to the table. And so it's going to be fun. And it's going to be fun to figure out what they can do and what they're really, really good at it, and then kind of what they struggle with, and put them in positions to have success. And obviously, it's just day 3, right? We just had our 3rd practice, so we're still trying to figure out who can do what. And we're working through that process, and we talk about this all the time. It's on the wall in our team room. It's a process over outcome operation. And so I'm not necessarily looking for them to execute at extreme high level right now, more looking for them to, practice by the standard that we expect. And but I am encouraged by some guys early. I think Watley's speed is going to be a problem, and he's made some big time plays. Chris Hudson is super natural and fluid and does a lot of good things. I love Phelps' size, and I think he's starting to become his own person and utilize that and feel confident in what he's doing. And like I said, Luke Wysong, he's tough as nails, man. I mean, he'll go fight you. And so he's kind of our bulldog, even though he has, a really good skill level. And I can go on and on. Chris Hunter, obviously, if you talk to guys last year, he kind of came on the scene late last year and really helped them. He's continuing to progress. He does some really, really special things in practice. So just really excited about the group and where they can go. Obviously, we're not there yet, but I believe in the group, and I believe in who's leading them. And I do think by the end of this, we'll have a position group of wideouts that we can use as a weapon. So.
Lastly, Justin. Sawyer Anderson. 14,000 yards in Dallas. When did he come on your radar, and just what do you think about the quarterback he is and just his legacy as a Dallas quarterback?
Yeah, so we had Sawyer committed at Purdue when I was the tight end coach, and when I was the tight end coach for Graham, Graham Harrell is probably the biggest mentor I've ever had since coaching and honestly playing too, because he was a stud when I was at Texas Tech, but. Part of our process of working together is we recruited the quarterback together, just because we saw it through the same lens, and both of us believed in the same, looking for the same skill set, for the intangibles, et cetera, of what we want in a quarterback. And so we both believed in him at Purdue, ended up, committing him at Purdue, and we had a coaching change, and so obviously had the opportunity to bring him here. And I'm super excited about him. Obviously, just like we've talked about, what you guys have seen on tape, of his high school tape, he's very, very twitchy. He has the ability to run. The ball comes out of his hand extremely fast. and quick, and he can process very quickly. I've been very impressed on how well he's picked up this offense because of the speed of install we're going at because of Noah and Braden, right? And he is right there. I mean, for a freshman to be able to pick it up like that and be able to spit it back to me in a meeting, or go out there and execute a play, like he did a couple of them today. He did a good job. It's been very impressive. So I'm excited about Sawyer. He has he's a long way to go still. He's still learning how to play the position because obviously transitioning from high school to college at the D1 level, especially in the Big 12, there's so much more demand to the position that I think he's learning, as we go.
All right, that's Seth Dagey, the offensive coordinator for your Arizona football team. Young guy coming in, seeing a lot of twitchy players out there. Something I never had, twitchy ability, for sure. It is your Desert Diamond Casino replay. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook, which is Arizona's best bet. Arizona baseball. Sure, they got some pitchers that might be a little twitchy out there. We'll see tonight against the Grand Canyon Antelopes. First pitch is coming up for you straight ahead. Brian Jeffries is in Phoenix. He will have the call. And then guess what happens this weekend? Arizona State. The rivalry is renewed. The Wildcats already have one win against the Sun Devils this season. They will need to go up there and beat a team that is playing equally as well as them this season. Thanks to Dr. Sophia Reed for joining us for cricket, for J-Dub, for Dragon Ball. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the ball game tonight. Bear down, Arizona.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela. Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-253-5151. That's 800-253-5151. 800-253-5151.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Arizona Sports Enterprises proudly presents University of Arizona Wildcat Baseball. Over 3,000 all-time victories, 284 major league draft picks,